Okay, guys, I'm sorry for the nasally voice. I'm kind of getting over a cold. But I wanted to say, when we come to a point in our lives where we're going to quit weed, we feel like we're going to die. We feel like life is going to end. We feel like, what will life be if I'm not smoking in the morning, in the evening? Will I eat? Will I sleep? Will I be able to talk to people? How will I get my daily dopamine hit? What will I do with my free time? All these things run through our head, and even when we have like an inclination to quit, we'll sometimes prolong that or put it off just because we are afraid of these sad things happening in our lives. But as a person who has smoked weed or did smoke weed for about 20 years of his life, and I got to a point where, I wanted better, I wanted to change, it was much easier and life was a lot better than what I initially realized. When we first began to smoke weed, we smoke weed just for social purposes, maybe to, ease the edge off as a social lubricant. Then it starts getting to where I'm just going to, relax after work or say it. I won't say that for me because when I was starting smoking weed, I was like 16. So I went at a point where I was stressed out with life. I socially smoked weed and it integrated its way into my life. And before I knew it, by the time I was 17, I was smoking every single day. And when weed is in your life for a long period of time, you don't smoke weed to get high. You don't smoke weed to ease the pain or ease your anxiety. You smoke weed just to live from day to day. Weed becomes a part of your life, just like you eating breakfast, eating lunch, drinking water. Have I drunk my water? Have I smoked my weed today? And the longer we do something or get in the habit of doing said things, whether it's good or bad, it's very hard for you to quit. And the thought of living life without weed just seemed, should I say, boring. I had to actually sit with my thoughts. I had to actually deal with people. What if I'm stressed out? What if I'm angry? What if something happens? How will I ease my pain? How will I ease my nerves? And for many people, some people may try to choose another vice, do something different. Me personally, I socially drink, and I still socially drink from time to time, like say anywhere from 1 to 4 times a month. But I never could smoke weed every day. I never could I never could drink alcohol every day. I never could replace weed with alcohol. Weed was my go-to thing. And even now where I can, drink, 1 to 4 times a month to be okay, and kind of just stick with that same regimen. With weed, it's not like that. If I smoke 1 to 4 times a month, eventually it'll be every week. It'll be every other day. It'll be every day. It'll be several times a day. The cycle goes on. We choose and pick our vices. Certain things work better or don't work better for certain people. But when I finally did quit weed, it was actually refreshing the mindset I got. I was not bored. I wasn't at a point where I didn't know what to do with my time. I didn't know what to do with my thoughts. It gave me a more of an energy to take on things that I probably have either put on the back burner or just not made time to do. Because, when you do X weed out of your life, not only do you can say that weed just takes, 4 or 5 minutes to, roll 10 minutes at the most. I roll my blunt, smoke it, so on. But we also spend a lot of mental, we spend a lot of mental time thinking about getting weed, thinking about when next time they were going to smoke, and it just takes up too much in our mind in a day's time. But I was surprised at the free time that I had in my mind once I quit weed that allowed me to think about and do other things. I also didn't realize how stagnant I was in life. We'll say a lot of times, I can smoke weed, I can do all this in work and have a relationship, and weed, it actually benefits my life. It doesn't take anything away, and I can do everything that I would do anyway if I was or was not smoking weed. I said these things too, but I didn't realize, one thing is you can maintain your life, just like you can maintain children, but are you truly raising children, providing them with the best opportunity to grow to a great human being? You can maintain your life with smoking weed, but if you're smoking weed every day, are you truly giving yourself the tools to become the best person you can ultimately be? I didn't realize how much weed just standing in my life. See, I would, maybe think bad about something or have a thought, and once I smoke weed, it'll either make me forget the issue or say it's not that bad. Where, I realize maybe the thought is that bad. Maybe I need to do something to change it. And whereas weed would actually make me either justify it or say it's not a big a deal, in turn, I want to actually solve the problem, and I'll just continue this day-to-day cycle where I have these thoughts, have an anxiety, and I smoke, I'm okay, we start over. I don't actually pursue any change to become that better person. But I was able to see things from a clearer state. And a lot of times when we do like dumb things, say dumb things, do dumb things, if we are smoking weed, we'll say, well, I was just high, or I was just smoking. Once I quit, I didn't have that excuse to say, well, I'm just high. I had to actually hold myself more accountable for my actions, whether they were good or whether they were bad. I didn't have that crutch to fall on with weed. So when you're more accountable, it actually makes you more thoughtful of making the right decisions, the right choices. So ultimately, I did not die once I quit weed. Life did not suck, but actually it enhanced my life. I was able to see life from a clearer state. I was able to spend more time to do more fulfilling things, pursue more hobbies, have a more productive day. If you're productive when you smoke weed, imagine how much more productive you will be if you quit weed. So don't fall for the trap that, I can smoke weed and live my best life. You can't live your best life if you're smoking weed every single day. Not if you just, try some weed every now and then, but if you actually have to smoke weed to get back from day to day, which many of us do. I did, so don't lie to yourself. It's probably beneficial to take some time off to see if life is better outside of weed. And it may suck that first week, 2 weeks, month. So, but eventually life gets better. You get used to it. We get used to change. And ultimately, we should forever always be changing. So, short video. But, life won't suck once you quit. So if you have quit, you have comments, ideas, please comment below. But remember, guys, until next time, we are all in this together. Peace.